Hello, this is Akhilesh Pandey with another video. In this video, I'm going to discuss about the traditional method of teaching in India. Particular, I'm going to discuss about the English language. So before we consider the principles and techniques of the new approach, it would be desirable to understand the traditional methods and teaching employed in India for a long time. These methods are number one, just think about the number one, that is the translation method. It is used almost by in all schools of India, and the direct method and Dr. Wett's new method. So let's discuss about the translation method. We have also studied in our school by this method, that is translation method. We ever never studied in English or other languages, other subjects, if that is in English, directly into English. We have studied even English in Hindi. We had to our teachers had to translate our classes into Hindi. So let's think about it. Let's get started. In the translation method is often called the translation grammar method, for it is a method in which translation and grammar predominate, both are predominate, and according to this method, the first steps in learning a language is to get at the meaning of new words, phrases and sentences to be learned, as we have to study आम for mango or mango for आम. Boy means ladka, ladka means ladka, English boy. So we have to study two languages together, and it is quite difficult for us, for non-native speakers. And the meaning of English words, phrases and sentences is start by means of word for words translation into the mother tongue of the child. The method is based on the following principles. Just let's discuss about this principle. There are three principles. Translation interprets foreign phraseology in the best manner. First, and in second one, in the process of interpretation, the foreign phraseology is assimilated, and the third one, the structure of a foreign language is best learned when compared and constructed with that of the mother tongue. This method stresses reading, and it makes little or no provision for training in speech. The linguistic method is graded on a grammatical plan, and therefore the method is called the translation grammar method. Carefully, it is now realized the wholesale translation as a means of teaching meanings is futile. The thoughts, feelings, surroundings and customs of the nation differ from those of another. These differences are reflected in the languages and color the meanings of words. There are thousands of words in English for which there are no exact equivalents in Indian language. The difference between ice and snow, for example, we don't have any difference between ice and snow in our Indian language, but yes, these are two different words and used at two different places, so we have to think about it. Can be hardly grasped by Indian children through the translation and these terms. Even the structure of English is different from that and any Indian language. For example, a and the cannot be translated into Hindi or Gujarati. Some English tenses cannot be translated into the simple tenses of the Indian language. For some of our languages have no equivalent for the perfect and indefinite present. The grammatical scheme and scheme of a course of lesson according to the translation method seem logical, but is detrimental to the interests of young learners. We have already seen that not reaching capacity for imitating what they hear enables children to pick up a language, to speak any language, as Dr. Ballard observed. Whenever native or foreign entirely by rule is quite impossible. The translation method ignores all the consideration and phonetics, pronunciation and fluency in speech of places language on foundation of alphabets, spellings and writing system, spelling that memorizing of rules, the deciphering of meanings and translation of texts are the main activities of those who study according to this method. It is now held that the pupil must reach a stage where he is able to speak and write English without translation. He must be able to think in English. The translation method prevents the pupil from thinking in English from self-expression in English. The result is that a pupil who is forming his thought in the mother tongue and then translating them into English cannot express himself in English with ease and fluency. So it's proof that this method is so old and ancient, and we cannot grow with this method in our education system. We have to think about it. We shouldn't translate, we shouldn't force on our students to translate the things into their mother language. We should just make them understand everything as it is, the language we are going to teach. We are teaching, suppose that we are teaching English, we shouldn't use any language, any bit of Hindi in the English class, because if we are using Hindi, that means we are going to confuse them. They have to think about two languages together, and it is not an easy task. So thank you.